Hello, everybody. Welcome back to Rant Line Radio. How are the Trojans going to beat Minnesota? We're going to talk about it here in this USC wins if ... video. Alicia, let's go.
Yeah, USC will win this game if the first half looks like last week's second half. USC has had some slow starts this season, but their second half adjustments have been immense.
I'm sorry. Can we start? Yeah. I screwed up the thing really quick. Okay. Sorry. All right, here we go. Yeah. Hello, everybody. Welcome back to Rant of Troy. How is SC going to beat Minnesota? We're going to talk about it right now. Alicia, what's the first one?
Yeah, USC will beat Minnesota if the first half of this game looks more like the second half of the Wisconsin game, or frankly, any game this season. USC's second halves have been impeccable. Their first halves, they've left something to be desired. Minnesota is going to want to start this game quick and put USC in the same hole that Wisconsin did. If USC lets them do that on the road, it could have really, really costly for the Trojans.
Yeah, Minnesota's really good in the second quarter. First 4 games of the year, they scored exactly 14 points in the second quarter, and SC allowed 14 points to Michigan and to Wisconsin in that second quarter, so SC's got to sort of weather that. I think the next reason is pretty simple. Minnesota's defense looks pretty good, but are they actually good? It's difficult to say. Just like SC, they got a new defensive coordinator in Corey Heatherman, and he comes in, and it's an interesting fit because he's providing a lot of pass defense. They're number 1 in the nation in pass defense. They're number, 8 in yards per play against. But then you look at who they've played. They haven't played a team with a passing offense remotely close to SC's. They played Iowa, who doesn't throw the ball particularly well. They played Michigan, who doesn't throw the ball at all. And they played against Nevada and Rhode Island. North Carolina is kind of the only one that will throw the ball, and their quarterback got hurt in the very first game of the season. And so who knows what you can take from that. So if Minnesota's defensive numbers, which look great now, are truly just a sign of who they've played, then that bodes really well for the Trojans on offense.
Yeah, and frankly, Miller Moss is going to be the best quarterback that Minnesota's defense has faced yet. And that is going to be where we're going to look to see if Miller Moss can continue to play at the high level that he's been playing. If he does, I don't know what Minnesota's defense is going to be able to do. But what about USC's defense? I mean, we've seen a transformed USC defense, but they've been susceptible to big plays. So USC will win this game if the big plays stop costing USC points on defense. Yeah. The defensive performances up to this point have all been, they were really good if you take out this play or that play. USC's defense needs to get to the point where they don't have to take out any plays, especially against a team like Minnesota, who is not an explosive team. They rank 103rd in explosiveness this season, and they're 106th in 10-yard play rate. So this is not a team that thrives off of explosive plays. USC can't give them any easy ones if they want to win.
Yeah, exactly. You look at the Michigan game, that game turned on a dime because of the big plays. The Wisconsin first half was fueled on big plays. SC can't allow that. And when you talk about that first half last week against Wisconsin, it's really simple, and maybe this is silly, but the little things can't be big things. The big things ended up being little things that were blown out of proportion in that first half. When you talk about a drop pass on 3rd down, a fumble, an interception, a false start on 4th and 1, those things just ended up being really costly because they added up on top of each other and ended drive after drive after drive after drive for SC in that first half. And it's a big reason why they fell behind 21-10 and had to roar back in the second half when they weren't making those mistakes. So it seems simple, but SC will win this game if they don't make the little mistakes that they made last week against Wisconsin.
Yeah, playing mistake-free is especially important when you're on the road. Mm-hmm. And already on the road this season, we've seen USC basically give a game away against Michigan because of very, very costly mistakes. So USC has got to play clean football to get out of this game. It's a trap game for a reason. If you hand anything to Minnesota, that's the recipe for an upset. So don't give them those ingredients. On the flip side, USC will win if they make Max Brosman pay for his mistakes.
Max Brosmer.
I'm getting his name wrong.
One of these days you're going to get it right.
Every time. But besides that point, he is the best quarterback that USC will have faced in several weeks since Garrett Nussmeier. USC has been facing a trail of backup quarterbacks, and finally they face somebody who is a legitimate starter, has a ton of FCS experience and production, and he will sling the ball around. But he is prone to mistakes. He's thrown interceptions, 4 interceptions in his last 4 games. He will give a defense those opportunities. It's up to USC's defense to take advantage of them. Against Iowa, he threw 2 picks. That is the difference between winning and losing in this game. He threw picks against Michigan. Again, that's the difference between winning and losing. USC needs to be opportunistic when he creates those opportunities for them.
Yeah, SC knows firsthand how a pick six can sort of change the game. It happened to Michigan last week. The Trojans 2 weeks ago. It happened to Brosmer last week against Michigan. So, yeah, you got to be able to take advantage of anything that he does that puts it in your favor. And then the last point here is, it's something we have to talk about every single week. It's going to be a dead horse that we have to sort of, beat until it's not. And that's the offensive line play. I think the offensive line play needs to be manageable. In the second half against Wisconsin, it was pretty manageable. Wisconsin didn't have a lot of havoc plays. SC struggled. Part of the breakdowns in that first half were offensive line mistakes, right? The false start on a 4th and 1. The interception that Miller Moss throws is a bad pass, but he has to make that pass in a hurry because of the pressure that's put on him. And the pressure just ends up creating a bunch of plays that maybe aren't negative plays and havoc plays per se, but aren't as successful as they could be, especially in the run game. So if the offensive line play can be manageable, doesn't need to be the greatest offensive line play you've ever seen. It just needs to be manageable, like we saw against LSU, especially in the second half, like we saw against Michigan in the second half, and like we saw against Wisconsin in the second half. If SC continues to do that straight out of the gate, this should be a game that they should be able to impose their will on.
Yeah, Miller Moss is playing exceptionally well this season, especially under pressure.
Yeah.
But his numbers under pressure are with that tag on them. If you gave him more opportunities to sit back in a clean pocket, imagine what he could do delivering the football to USC's playmakers like Zachariah Branch, like Jacoby Lane, like Deuce Robinson, and the rest of the receiving group. USC has a ton of talent on the field, but that talent is limited when Miller Moss is running for his life, right, or when USC is getting stuffed on first down runs and ending up with second and longs and third and longs that they're trying to get out of. The more that USC can rely on that offensive line, and it's very, very simple, but being able to run the ball for 3 or 4 yards instead of 1 or 2, being able to have Miller Moss have 3 seconds to throw instead of 2.5 seconds to throw. Yeah. These are the little things that can put USC over the top and make this an easy game that USC doesn't have any drama with.
Yeah, you want it to be a game in which SC gets good marks at the end of it, especially on that offensive line. And speaking of good marks, we gave some pretty good marks to SC's performance against Wisconsin. So if you missed those in their unit grades, check it out right here, right there. There's the link. Click on it. Make sure that you're liked and subscribed as well. And we'll see you next time.
See ya.
See ya.